All right, we're live. Good morning, people. Good morning. Welcome to the stream. Today, I am continuing on with animating this walk cycle. You can see here, I've kind of done the back now. The back is looking pretty sick. I'm pretty happy with that at the moment. And yeah, I'm working on the front. I had no fucking time yesterday to do this one. Yeah, basically gonna start the day with a little bit more walking. Um, and for those who are joining in today, thank you for joining. Appreciate it. As always. And yeah, today I've actually got my book right in front of me, so I'm actually going to use my book. You can hear the book in front of me as reference because it's not often that I do animals, so it doesn't come naturally to me, especially realistic animals. So yeah, going back to my chapter in the classic Animated Survival Kit. Like I said, I use this book all the time when I have to. I took a week off last week as well, don't you worry. Last week was my birthday, so I was like, nah, not doing any work this week. Not doing any work. That's why I didn't upload anything either last week. I don't think I did, at least. Yeah, I took it easy. Don't know if you can hear my voice. It sounds pretty I don't know, raw or something. I don't know. Anyway, where's my walk? Need my walk cycles. I think I got it. There we are. Found my doggo. Basic walk pattern. That'll do for me. All right. Yeah, cool, awesome. Well, thanks for watching it. Thanks. Yeah, I was hoping to have this whole thing done before my birthday, but circumstances pending, I guess. All right, cool. So what I'm just doing, I'm just blocking out the basic loops of the leg. I think the leg actually doesn't look too bad. It's looking a bit. The only thing is that it looks a bit linear there, like the linear height. So I want to try and just modify this one ever so slightly. So I kind of like this. I might bring this up a little bit. Oops, not there. Here. Get that loop feeling a little bit more, I don't know, natural, I guess would be a way of putting it, like that. I saw a video recently of a method to animate a walk cycle using curves, and I'm like, fuck, that's so smart. And I was thinking about doing it for the dog, but then I realized that the dog needs to stop moving, so no dice for that idea for this one. So yeah, let's see. I'm gonna grab these, and I'm gonna duplicate this loop here. This is the loop here for the walk, by the way. And I'm going to remove that for now, because I want to duplicate this fresh. Actually, instead of doing that, let's just copy and replace. Copy. Oh no, it's way off. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, all right, sweet. I do need to replace it. Copy. Why is the loop? That's interesting. Loop starts here, ends on 90. Oh shit, that explains it. Deleted too many keyframes. Deleted too many keyframes. So the loop starts there. Okay, I get it now. Sorry, I'm just I'm repeating myself here, trying to figure out where I left my my consciousness, I guess you could say. There we are. There we go. Copy this. Let's see if I paste it now, it will work all right. Oh yeah, it looks good. Sweet. I can just paste it in like so. And remove that one. There we go. And you can see the loop taking hold. Looking pretty good. Look pretty smooth curves. So I'm happy with those. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead and duplicate these keyframes across to the other leg. And then I'll do the same thing I did yesterday, which was basically just offset the animation. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to save this down. Copy, paste, paste flipped, paste. Oops, too many pastes. Copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. So this is my lazy as fuck method for doing a walk cycle. This is what convinced me really when I was deciding whether or not to stick with Maya or go with Blender. This discovery is what clinched the deal. Being able to flip poses on the fly without any plugins was absolutely awesome. Yeah, you got to make sure you scale everything correctly. You could go ahead and just model as needed and then scale in the references, like scale with it null, but it's so much better to do it. Manually. Like make sure everything is set to scale. Are you doing it in Blender or Maya? Just out of curiosity, because the measurements would be different in Maya, like the way it works. All right, cool. So what I need to do is basically move this animation forward by 20 keyframes. And now we have that. Awesome. So now I'm going to copy those, repeat those a little bit. I could repeat this with a modifier as well, but yeah. Just want to see how it works. There we go. That looks pretty sick. As a blocking, that's looking pretty good now. So now you can see here, what really matters now is making sure that the hips, the front hips, the shoulders move as well. So keeping that in mind. So that would be, in the case of this, well, I'm just thinking in terms of like an actual leg. So in the case of a leg, the hip would be up, rotating up like that. So we need to, let's set it to local, rotate on Y. Can't really see it that much though, can you? Rotate on Y there. Rotate on Y there. Flip it here. So already we're going to get this going on. You see a little bit of that hip, that shoulder blade movement. And what really matters is this down motion. So down on that part there. Let's see, that would be right. And then up here. Let's see if this works. That's a bit too much. So yeah, it's making sure that it's not too intense, but doing the same thing over here as well. So that was 6 frames forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do the same thing down there. And then up. around here. Let's see how it looks. Maya is fun. Only have a year left of student license, and that only gives you max. Yeah, that's right. So if you want to work commercially, it is a bit expensive when you're first starting out to invest in it. Welcome, Hemi Hem. Pretty chill. I don't think the hips are working at the moment. So the way that the chest should be at the moment is that the body, they kind of works in opposite, like in tandem with the hips. So when the hips go up with the dog, the opposite happens here. So with the chest, so it should be down like that, and this should be up like this. Let's see how we go here. Looks too weird and robotic at the moment. Just gonna check something. Might need to change some overlap, the way it overlaps. And also just the height, just playing with that height, like physically moving it up and down rather than just rotating it. So up, a little bit down. And of course the legs are a little bit too high, like maybe the body is a bit too low, to be honest, over here as well. But let's have a look. That's looking better. I might keyframe, in this case, it would be, besides the Y rotation, I'm going to copy these keyframes here and paste them around there. Let's see what happens. Interesting. No, that should be correct. That should be correct. So yeah, I'm just thinking through the process. Hello, good morning. Pretty quiet morning this morning. So that's looking much better. So let's have a look and see how this looks completely like so. Yeah, that looks much better. I'm just wondering about the loop. The loop here is looking a little bit fucked. Yeah, this should be definitely in the opposite direction. This is why it's really good to have the graph editor visible. To see how the loop's working. I think that's correct. Let's have a look at the pattern. So something like that should be the pattern, I think. Yeah. Forward. There we go. Ah, thanks, dude. Welcome, hot like lip gloss. Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad it's helpful for you guys. By the way, sorry, I'm having trouble looking through the mic. So I got a boom mic ordered. Hopefully, it will come in soon. But I'm just looking at how now. Just looking at how it drops. So it drops really quickly here. It might be worth deleting these keyframes and seeing how it looks with the... So the Y rotation, I'm looking at the location now. So look at the Z location. If you're hearing things being knocked around, it's the cats playing with, I think it's a lollipop. So the reason why it's dipping a bit too fast. Let's see what we got here. One. Oh, cheers. So I feel like it's dipping too fast here in these keyframes. So I might just bring these duns down a little bit, or up, sorry, in space. I might bring them forward as well to get some more variation. As for why there's this keyframe here, they're spaced differently. So I'm curious about that as well, but it's not a big deal. That's looking better already. So I was just playing with that. And of course, if you have any questions, feel free to ask away. Let's see. Oh, by the way, on the recommendation of, I think it was Kelly Johnson, on Monday, I watched Arcane, and as a person who pretty much despises League of Legends as a game, the fucking show is mad. That show is sick. It looks so good. And the story is really cool too. So for anyone who hasn't seen it yet, yeah, definite recommendation from Dicko, that's for sure. It's so cool. Yeah, I'm really enjoying the show. It's been a while since I enjoyed an animated show for that as well. For this, I might actually, because I like the location of the hips here, I might actually, in order to compensate for this leg getting crushed, I might actually lift the body up like so. Now it's popping a little bit too strong, so now I need to bring it down a snatch. There we go. And maybe I have to bring these legs back a bit forward. Oh no, it does not make me want to play a League at all. If that's the intention of the show, which it probably most likely is. No, thank you. I do not want to watch the show, play the game at all. Yeah, that's looking pretty sick. I mean, like the legs popping. So what I mean by popping, it's popping there. We could probably compensate that by rotating this. Yep. There we go. So I have to add those keyframes in there now on every step. But you can see it's not crushing as much on the leg there anymore. And I can also compensate that by changing the way that looks as well. So I'll probably flip these keyframes again or something like that. But you can see, yeah, the legs are just it's always going to be a level of trial and error with the legs. There we go. But I'm liking the loop at the moment. And honestly, you're barely going to see this loop, at least in this shot. But I'm doing the full loop anyway because I will be using it in the next scene. So it will be worth having anyway. Let's see here. Let's just add a little bit of... Ah, shit. I don't like the way the heels work in this fucking rig. It's too simplistic. I really don't like the rigifies foot rig for animals. It's really odd. Anyway. The fact that it even exists in Blender, though, is just a miracle anyway. So I'm not complaining. All right, cool. So loop starts here. I'm going to fix that up a little bit further here. That way the loop stays nice and clean. So 9:30 starts again at this point. Where's it start again? Starts again. Here. Oops, too far. There we go. There we go. That looks good, meted out. Oh, and thank you. If you have any, yes, looking forward to 3. I got some plans with 3 on terms of content. I think a new video about migrating the Blender will be in order. It's probably one of my most popular videos as well. The original one that I made about 2 years ago. But a lot's changed since then, so I think I definitely think it's worthwhile updating a few things. I'll have to make a new video on UDIMs as well, especially with the new updates with Substance. And I do plan on doing some animation videos as well, because I think that's the one big thing that I don't have on my channel is animation tips. Stuff like this, walk cycles, and you know, all that kind of jazz. And of course, I'm hoping that you guys are enjoying today's stream as well. So yeah, thanks for joining as well. So you can see here the legs also popping here. So we'll need to fix that up. I am Australian. I am based in Melbourne, Australia. Hope that answers your question. It should answer your question. But yeah, yeah, definitely not Kiwi. And if it was Kiwi, if I was a Kiwi right now, it would already be like 10 a.m. So yeah. Ah, shit. There we go. That's better. Do not play the game. I do enjoy watching the cinematics at times, but I do find them a little bit, depending on the depending on the short that they make for Overwatch. It can either be really cringe, in my opinion, or it can be really cool. So yeah, that's basically the gist of how I see Overwatch. Yeah, because they obviously taking a page from the sort of Disney Pixar sort of route of certain stories, and some of it can feel a little bit saccharine, I guess you can say. But yeah, what I'm playing at the moment, for those who are wondering, if you are interested, I don't play many competitive shooters or anything like that, if any at all. What I play at the moment has been, yeah, I've been playing Age of Empires 4, which is really fun. It's awesome. It's so cool, so polished. And I've been playing Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh, cool. Netherlands. Sweet. Home of Blender. Home of Blender. All right, cool. I'm just looking at that. I'll worry about the rest of the legs at the moment, but what matters now is the top. So what you need to do is sort of rotate the hips on the top. All right, so what we need to do here is we need to change the, like similar to the way a person walks, your hips move side to side when you're walking as well. So what you need to do is actually shift the legs, or shift the hips side to side when you're walking. So I'm going to turn on random mode. Of course the wolf is the same color as the ground. Fuck me. All right. Let's give this another color, just cause. Ground. All right, plain. Let's see if we can go with plain. Ground. Let's just go with another letter. There we go. Something random. What we're going to do now is just add a little bit of side to side motion, a little bit of sway. So the legs forward here. So that means that in the case of the wolf, the hip will be moving side to side like so. So this is going to be a little bit tricky. So a little bit of sway on that side. And I might actually bring up in this case, it's the Z rotation. Make that only visible here. Because all I'm going to do with these keyframes at the moment is from side to side, all the way to 90. That's where the rotation ends. I'm going to copy that rotation, copy that pose, and paste it over here in the opposite. And then for the Z rotation, just delete the rest. And that will be it. Oh, sorry. That should be in the opposite here. That should be here. Sorry. That should be over here. And then this one should be here. Ah, shit, I fucked things up. Let's undo that, paste. So copy, 170, paste. That makes sense. And then 190 is the original. There we go. That's what we need. So what we should have is a clean animation like so, going through the keyframes. So I'm going to delete those. And paste it in like so. There we go. Got some hip sway now. That's all I want. And again, I'm not a big fan of the way the rig works in Rigify with the spine. It's a bit rigid. It's a bit too rigid for the purposes of the animation, but I think that's looking pretty cool. Sculpting my first mesh right now. I'm from Saudi Arabia. Welcome. From Australia, obviously. Yeah, good luck with your mesh. If you make something cool, feel free to share it. That'd be awesome. All right, let's go and increase the loop. I want to just increase the curves a little bit, make it feel a little bit more. That hip is looking pretty good in my opinion. That looks a lot better now. Still getting a little bit of popping there, I feel, in one of those keyframes. I'm not sure where, but I'll fix that later on. Plus, it might fix itself when I do the hips. The front hips, if you want to call it the shoulders, sorry. So in this case, Z again, Z rotation. And in this case, it's going to be the opposite. So we already got a little bit of rotation here. But I think it needs to be cleaned up. So in the case of this one, the hips should be facing, it's in the wrong direction, that's why. Should be like that. So it's in the complete opposite direction for the hips of the front. So I'm going to grab this, bring this to 170, paste that. Shit. Copy 170, pose, and 190, pose. Delete these keyframes. And now we have a nice clean loop for the Z rotation. So let's delete those. Copy. Paste. Anyone use Nomad for sculpting? Yeah, it's not too bad. I like it. I'm not used to it yet. Thanks. Yeah, I'm trying to friggin' get things done. It's kind of tough balancing everything. That looks really cool. The only thing I'd say is that the foot hitting the ground with the 2 feet, I think it's a bit too in tandem. I would say I'll need to offset the animation at the front somewhat, a little bit, because the feet at the front always lean into the first. They always take a few steps, like a few frames forward. It's definitely cheaper than friggin' ZBrush, put it that way. So I'd actually say, for the value you get with Nomad Sculpt, it's ridiculous. I think with what I might do is actually offset the front animation a little bit forward, just a few frames, to make it feel like it's a little bit more consistent. So what I mean by that is that because they're looking so similar, like a bit too similar, I'm going to copy, get all the frames from the front for now, all of them, just the front only. I might actually save a selection set for just the front of the body. Copy that. What I'm going to do here is go to my bone selections here, go to selection groups. Where's my selections sets? Yeah, assign front legs, front body. Assign that just for now. And I'm going to actually offset this by, I'd say 2 frames, maybe even just 1. 1, 2. Is that 2 frames? It is. It still feels like it's, oh no, sorry, forward 2 frames. 1, 2, 3, 4. So legs should be, already that looks so much better just by offsetting those. Do I ever dabble in Unity? The answer is not really, not much at all. I used to a little bit for work, but now not so much. It's been a long time since I've even touched the game engine, to be honest, properly at least. I think that looks a lot better. That looks much better with the offset. So the reason why you're probably feeling like the body was a little bit off kilter might have been from the the synchronization of the back and the front. I think that's going pretty cool. What needs to be added as well is a little bit of, I feel like there's a little bit of a pause somewhere. Yeah, it does look better, I think. It does look better. I'm also looking at the front. I feel like there's something going on with one of the keyframes, but I could be wrong. The curves are pretty clean. They are pretty clean. Let's see. Is there anything else going on here? I don't think so. Those are really clean curves, so I'm sure I'll figure it out in the next couple of hours or days as I work through this. Yeah, that's what it's trying to do. That's what I want to do with the head, and I will add some more overlap into that body as well. So where the head's dipping, so knowing where the loop is starting, I'm also trying to have to figure out where that loop will end up being. So 150, 148. So I've moved it back 3 frames. It would be at 160 is the loop there. 1. So in the case, sorry. So in this case, the loop will begin now. Where's the loop start now? Loop starts at 188. Yeah, there's so much. I am not a furry. No, I'm not. Far from that. That is definitely not the case. So I know that the loop's going to start there. Let's move back 1, 2 on 168. That's where the next shot will be. So therefore, I want to get the head dipping down a little bit here. I'm making this up as I go along, by the way. Let's see. Already that's looking better, I think. Or I could make it opposite as well. So maybe trying to figure out where the head would like rise and fall. Wouldn't be that much though. So yeah. Would full body tracking for humanoids make your workflow any easier? Yeah, I'd say so. It would be easier. I do have plans and testing some stuff out. The annoying thing is that like I can't afford to buy a suit. I'm not going to buy a friggin' motion capture suit for an independent film. Not for that much money, at least. I am so tempted to migrate over to Apple, use an iPhone for tracking, and then use the Mac for like certain things. Like, so I saw a video yesterday on photogrammetry on the Mac, and it's just so much better. It's just ridiculously like high quality, and it's using Apple's API to do it, and it's like that's never going to come out in Windows, and yeah, it could make my life so much easier. Oh no, your English is fine. Yeah, for sure, exactly right. I think that's looking pretty good now. I might actually bring that head down a little bit now here. And copy that keyframes. Let's copy that. and just playing with those values a little bit, making it a little bit more subtle. Yeah, it's looking better. Linux doesn't even have that shit in the box. I've used Linux before. I actually tried migrating over about 2 years ago, and the promise is always there that it will be like solid and easy to use, and no issues at all. But like the problem was that when I was using Linux for the first time in 5 years, 6 years, the same problems were still there after all these years, and all the advantages that it did have, like 5, 6 years ago, are now like been copied and improved upon in the competitors and made much, much better. Whereas in Linux, like their Spark, what's it called? Their version of the App Store, it is so shit now. Like it used to be awesome. Now it's just trash. There's so many broken apps on that thing. It's ridiculous. Yeah, so from a usability standpoint, it's like all the building blocks are there, but it's still just not on that same level. Well, Android is basically Linux, just with a Google coat on top of it. So you may notice as well that we have these shoulder blade joints that we need to manipulate as well. And you have to remember as well, like when I'm doing this shot, I probably don't have to worry about the head sway all that much because it's going to come in from the side. So remember that I've muted a animation here where actually I will add some proper head sway like vertically, but let's actually try and move this entire animation forward a little bit. I just want to see how it looks. Obviously the animation is stopping. Just want to try and turn off, let's just turn off vector free. Got a little bit of sliding there. So maybe I can that's interesting. So yeah, it's having it's kind of weird. Oh man, the Apple. I've been looking at the Apple, Apple Pro, like the latest M1s, and they are mind blowing. In terms of workflow and in terms of just size of like the footprint, it can avoid like the kind of footprint that it has. The reason why it's sliding, by the way, is this fucking foot is not linear. The potential there to save so much time and so much space with an M1 chip is ridiculous in my opinion. The potential there is just so nice to see. I'm so tempted that one day I'll probably have to buy one. The annoying thing is I've done this walk cycle and I need to, it's funny how when you pull it away, how much more improvement you need to add still. Like there's still so much left to do in the walk cycle. Yeah, yeah, exactly. In terms of the sway, let's have a look without the. I think the head bop is way too strong, and it's out of sync with the body. That's what's causing that to feel really weird. So I'm gonna actually hide that. I'm gonna delete those keyframes and just see what happens when I remove those keyframes. Thanks for the follow, by the way. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Thanks for the reference. Yeah, 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 for sure. Just tag me on Twitter or Instagram if you publish it, and I'll check it out. Yeah, cool. All right. I think just as an idea, it's coming along. Eventually, I'll just have to actually just stop the walk cycle, like right there, and just have the wolf settle, and then come into that motion. So yeah, for sure. I think it's coming along. I'm not going to bother with the tail yet, because what it will do, I just have to have it stop right there. That's where it will stop, and then I'll have to settle it. Anyway, for now, let's just mute that for now, so I don't see it. Oops. Let's just mute that for now. What we need to do is just get these shoulder blades working. So the shoulder blades are pretty simple. 148, that would bring it to 168 in the loop here. And then back to 148, or sorry, 188 over here. And I'm just going to rotate those shoulder blades. Ah, shit, I gotta turn off the animate. So here's that one. Let's go ahead and fix that one up. There we go. Also, just gotta may have to bring that out a little bit too. One. And then back. Just a little bit. That'll be enough. Oh man, tons. And this is not even perfect animation. It's pretty pretty basic, in terms of what I've done. I haven't done too much to this either, which is nuts. You can already see that adding that shoulder blade animation really helps with the legs as well. Much better. Just with that shoulder blade animation. Huge difference. And even then, I haven't even thought about changing the trajectory of the legs yet. As in the curves of the leg where they splay out and all that sort of stuff. They can rotate a little bit in the motion. All kinds of stuff. All right, let's get this one up and running as well. So again, going to 188 to complete that loop first. In this case, it would be the opposite. So the leg would be a little bit forward. It's like so. And this would be a bit back. So 168. You can see how much it already fixes that leg as well. So it fixes that, it will fix that popping as well in that shoulder blade. Or in that leg, sorry, it will fix the pop. So I can actually go back and fix up that too. There we go. Copy 168. I'm not sure what the loop would be there actually. I might just go through and just manually fix it. One 208 and 145. There we go. So yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. It's a real pain in the ass to when you're just looking at it constantly and just trying to make sure it all works together. The only problem is that with this loop, eventually I think the what the hell is this? Oh, that's the new change. Eventually that the I feel like the loop will get out of sync overall, but yeah, it's looking better. I'm not a fan of that drop there. So there's all kinds of stuff still looking at things, seeing how it all comes together. These curves are still a little bit messy, so I can clean those up on those heels. That looks much better already on that foot. So yeah, and I got to fix the claws up obviously, so I'll worry about that later. But the way that his head dips, boom, boom, is too strong. So again, going through and just making sure it all works cleanly, I think is really important. So on the X here, you can see that real dip here. Either it's in the rotation itself. So if I were to mute, let's see, let's try muting X rotation for now, just seeing how it works without it. It's a lot, yeah, it's definitely on X rotation that's causing that dip to drop a bit too fast. Yeah, almost exclusively. You kind of have to when you're looking at animation. You kind of always have to be looking at the graph editor. It's one of the most important parts. So what I might do is on 193, let's keyframe this and remove that, and that will be my loop for X. So 190, I'm going to copy those and clean up those loops and see what happens. Yeah, using the graph editor is almost not really. I don't use animation layers that much, and the solution in Blender isn't great anyway. You would have to use the action editor, the NLA. Oh shit, I gotta wrap up. Okay, I didn't realize what time it was. I gotta wrap things up. So thank you for